So, final game of the Swiss rounds of the London Regional. I was 3-3 at this point. I was probably at championship points range, so again, I wasn't going to take it too seriously. And it was against Terence. I'd already played him in a friendly at the UK Nationals, and I managed to pull away with the win there with my awful Metagross team. But here, he's going to lead with Talonflame and Scrafty against my Suicune and Thundurus. He's going to switch out his Talonflame into the Zapdos because I could have just either Scolded or Thunderbolted it. But I'm just going to go for the nasty plot because I was just having fun at this point. I didn't really care if he faked out or Flare Blitzed into it, so I just went for the nasty plot. And I'm going to go for the Scald onto the Scrafty, and I actually get the burn, which is quite nice. Because now the Ice Punch, the unexpected Ice Punch onto the Thundurus, is not a 2-hit KO, which is really nice. And he's going to take some burn damage. So now I can KO anything on his side of the field with my Thundurus. He's going to end up switching out his Zapdos into his Ferrothorn, because he was probably expecting the Thunderbolt onto the Zapdos. And that's exactly what I go for. Stop any kind of Tailwinds or Thunder Waves or anything like that. And the Scrafty can't KO my Thundurus in one shot. I actually get paralysis onto his Ferrothorn, so that's quite funny. Actually getting some luck back in my favour. And I'm going to go for the Scald onto the Scrafty, putting it into another Scald burn KO, well, Scald KO range with the burn. But here he's going to go for the Ice Punch, and to finish off the tournament, let's have another freeze. Of course, Thundurus was the same Pokemon, like the same Pokemon to get frozen all 3 times, so that's quite funny. I was just laughing at this point. I didn't care about the freeze. It was just funny how much hacks I was getting this tournament. Now, switching out the Suicune into the Salamence to intimidate both physical attackers, and then I can just potentially KO something if I unthaw with Thundurus, but it didn't really matter because, of course, I stay frozen solid. So he's smartly going to target down my Thundurus, not going to mess around with the freezes or potential thawing. And Thundurus goes down. So I would have been able to probably sweep through his team with it, but now I can't because of the freeze. And he's going to start setting up with his Ferrothorn with the Curse, which is quite cool. I've only seen that move on another very scrubby player's team before, but this guy isn't a scrub. He's top cut at least 2 nationals that I know. I don't know anymore because I haven't been playing for that long, but there you go. I'm going to bring in my Infernape to threaten out this Ferrothorn because he can't set up and get away with it, so I'm going to bring out my overheating Infernape, but he's going to switch out into his Zapdos, which is good play. I'm going to Mega Evolve my Salamence, and then I'll be able to just easily pick off this Scrafty with my Salamence. So now, am I going to go for the Overheat onto the... No, I go for the Encore. Encoring it into Curse. Yeah, that would have been a good play as well. But Overheat would have been better because I'd have actually got some chip onto the Zapdos. I guess I didn't want to risk the miss with Overheat, so down goes the Scrafty. Now in comes the Talonflame, and this is where I really misplay, but this move was more out of curiosity, because I go for the Overheat onto the Zapdos, which does a decent chunk to it. It doesn't activate any sort of Citrus Berry if there was one, but it actually turns out to be a Moranga Berry, which was quite cool. But I'm also going to double up onto it. He's going to Swords Dance with his Talonflame, which was why I misplayed. I obviously should have Frustration into the Talonflame, but at this point, I just wanted to know if I could actually KO the Zapdos with the double target. I don't. That's good information. That was good information for the future games, but you know, didn't really matter. He gets another full paralysis with his Thunderbolt, which is quite funny because, you know, another 10% chance happening. But because he got up that Sword Stance, he's probably going to take the game now because my Thundurus went down. I don't have any flying resists, and it actually turns out that he's got a 100% chance to knock out my Salamence with the Brave Bird, doing a minimum of 100%. So that's quite annoying. Down goes the Salamence. I thought I could live very badly, but, you know, that was my fault for letting him get up the Sword Stance. I was just curious about the damage onto Zapdos. But, you know, he's going to Thunderbolt onto my Suicune. He's going to do over half, activate the Citrus Berry, and he's going to get another full paralysis because, you know, why not? Let's just add to all this hacks. Didn't matter at this point, but it was just funny. So I'm going to get my Citrus Berry, put it out of another Thunderbolt KO range, but the Brave Bird will be able to KO either one of my Pokemon. So my only hope was to crit the Fake Out onto the Zapdos. I don't. And he's able to Brave Bird my Infernape. If I'd have crit the Zapdos, I could have actually pulled through, because then I could have Scalded the Talonflame as well, and I would have got a double knockout this turn. But I don't get the crit, and he's able to knock out my Infernape with the Brave Bird and Thunderbolt onto my Suicune for the knockout as well. Not this turn, because he flinched. But I'm going to get full parried, of course. So, you know, let's just have all this hacks. But it didn't matter. He was going to just Brave Bird or Thunderbolt me next turn for the knockout, and down goes Suicune. So that was an interesting tournament, to say the least. It was almost certainly, no, it was certainly my unluckiest tournament I have ever had. But, you know, you can't always blame the hacks. There were a couple of games that were stolen from me, I think, in here. This last match was definitely me throwing it by not targeting the Talonflame. The freezes and the paras didn't really matter. But, you know, I'd still had fun at the tournament, even though I was quite salty at the beginning of the tournament with the first turn freeze. That was annoying. But, you know, that's Pokemon for you.